Hi, I'm Iridium. The Iridiates are here. It's Jam and it's Dom. How you doing, guys?
Well, thank you. How's everyone?
Quite well.
Yeah, good. Our weekly roundup of the best in metal, rock and metal, obviously, in all killer, no filler. Before we start, let's just explain the rules to all those new fans that are going to be watching this. The rules of all killer, no filler are: we pick a year. Well, we don't pick a year. We're doing them one by one. We got up to 2009, so we're closing in quick. And some of the rules for all killer, no filler are: we got on this particular year, or for the rest, I believe we're going to do 12 tracks. Within those 12 tracks, we can't repeat albums, so we can't have two songs off of one album. It's only the releases from that year, obviously, and also the track listing has to match the original track listing of the album. That's all clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Clear as mud. Clear as mud.
The 2009 does mean that Dominic is going first on his track one.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to open with a new band that was 2009. This band's called Charm City Devils. It's one of those CDs I happened upon. Really great album. Listened to that to death when it came out. The song I picked, and which is the title track, is Let's Rock and Roll, which everyone knows that I love my songs about rock and roll. So.
It don't even matter if you don't like the song, as long as it's got rock and roll in the title.
Exactly. Luckily, this is a great song. It's very kind of AC/DC inspired, but not one of those kind of copycat band. I mean, it kind of has that flavor, but it's not like, you go, oh, that's, so-and-so song from Let It Be Rock or whatever, It's just got that vibe. The whole record's great. I know they had at least one more after this because I have it, and it's not quite as good. They few modern-y kind of elements coming in, which isn't bad, but this is just one of those things that I just love, that kind of straight up, rock and roll riffs and melodies and, everything we love. So Charm City Devils, I think they're gone now, but if you've never heard it, I believe this song has a video as well. So really great track. So there you go. Let's rock and roll. That's what it's called.
Good one, man. Never heard of them before. So that's cool. That's cool. New band. Brilliant, mate. What you got in, Jam?
Okay. I've got a band that we all like, and we've discussed many times, and I won't dwell too much on this. I think we all like it. It's Wasp from their album Babylon. And I think we've all talked that we like old Wasp, but Wasp have done some great new stuff. So anybody who isn't out there and given them a chance since, it wasn't all great. So it was varied, but certainly the last 3 or 4 albums, in fact, in the past sort of 2000s, has been pretty good, really. And this is track one, which is Crazy, which is absolutely barnstorming song. It's history of a lot of Wasp albums have got great opening tracks on it. I think quite a lot of them. We picked quite a lot of them actually over a few years. Blackie's vocals are brilliant again. Obviously, this is his religious period, so there's no swearing or anything in these sort of songs, but it doesn't mean they're not good. And it's a galloping song, epic. The album's pretty good, all of it. I could have picked this or track 3. I won't mention obviously, but track 3 is cracking as well. But yeah, Crazy. Check it out. Modern Wasp or modern-ish Wasp is very good.
To tell you the truth, I think probably from this album onwards might be some of the best of their career. I think I really do. Really strong. Oh God, Vant! I can hear him. He's coming. He's on his way. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's going to jump on my little shrine in a minute.
Yeah, he's going to knock the whole thing
down. It all over.
That's what he does. He's just an annoying twat. Anyway. Good one, mate. Bit of Wasp. Loved it. Okay, well, I'm going back to a band. I'm not sure how many years it was when they bought their last. It must have been a long time, but this is a bit of a comeback for this band. A huge band, actually, by the name of Foreigner. And they got a different singer in for this. I mean, they have used different singers occasionally on their albums. They haven't lasted that long, apart from Lou Gramm. But this is Kelly Hansen singing on this album, and don't know why, no more new music since this album, which is called Can't Slow Down. This is the title track as well, opening the album up.
They could slow down.
yeah, they definitely have slowed down to a halt near enough. I know they're a lot about on the live circuit quite a bit. I actually caught them with Journey and Styx at Wembley, which was a pretty cool gig. But for some reason, no more new music. Like 2009, man, that's a long time, isn't it? You know, even for these days. But Kelly Hansen done a brilliant job. He has got a similar voice to Lou Gramm, you know, and I think that's a part of the charm of the album. You know, it's got that foreigner feel. But this sort of album sort of came and went as if it didn't really, you know, people didn't take a lot of notice of it. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. There's quite a few ballads on the album, which are all good, but Can't Slow Down is a bit of a rocking track to start the album off. Love it. Love a bit of Foreigner. There you go. On track one.
Kelly Hansen from the Mighty Hurricane.
Yes. I mean, he's got a great voice. I mean, and obviously he's not, people probably think, oh, he's sort of a young person that's come into the band. He's not, is he? His voice is brilliant.
No, he's been around,
been around a long
Hurricane
time as
started
well.
in the early 80s, I think. So
I think that's what people forget. When the replacement comes in, they automatically think that it's a young, it's a bit like with Todd Latour, isn't it? Todd Latour is like 40-something years old, but people imagine it's like a young upstart's come in, and that's why he can sing better than Jeff Tate, maybe, because he's so young. But 40 ain't young to sing, is it?
No.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, Can't Slow Down from Foreigner. Track
Cool.
2, guys.
Number 2 for me, a band I've mentioned before. I wanted to put this on because it was the last record that they did. This is Porcupine Tree, so a bit of modern prog for you. Name of the album is called The Incident, and the track I picked is The Blind House. These guys have just been making quality music for years. I put the 10th album. This is their 10th album.
Wow.
And yeah, as I said, it's their last one until Shock Horror late last year in December, November. They announced they're doing a new record. So there'll be some new music. He's had quite a few solo records since this, Stephen Wilson. But yeah, he's doing a proper Porcupine Tree album, and probably 2, I would imagine. So it'd be nice to have him back. You know, Stephen Wilson kind of veers a bit more towards pop. You know, he does have proggy elements in his solo work, but it's a bit more. It's not quite as involved and riffy. So it'd be nice to have Porcupine Tree back. But in the meantime, yeah, this is from their last album, 2009. The Incident from Porcupine Tree.
Cheers, mate.
Cool.
Look at this track behind me.
I know. Yeah, here we go.
I mean, it's just, I'll just give up, honestly.
Knock it down. Knock it down.
He's all balanced all nicely as well. It's like, it's ready to go. It's ready to go. Good one, mate. Good one, mate. What you got then, Jam? Number 2.
Okay, number 2. I've got another band that me and Lee like a lot, and that is Alice in Chains with their comeback album, Black Gives Way to Blue. Now, interesting. I mean, I actually saw that when they decided to reform, with obviously William Duval coming. Sign's gone.
Fucking CD, fucking sign. Twat. Absolute twat cat.
You really should know better by this point, I have to say.
For all those subscribers that when Vamp doesn't appear, they put a little comment, where's the cat? They can fuck off. All them people can fuck off. You don't know what I have to put up with. Well, you do. Sorry, Jam. Alice in Chains, you were saying.
Sorry, yeah, Alice in Chains. Yeah, obviously, Lane Staley had died, and they decided to reform, and they got William Duval in, and they actually played Download in 2006. So I had to go back and check when it was. I knew it was a while. So this album was 3 years after then, before they actually released anything. So they're obviously quite a tight band probably by this point. Anyway, Black Gives Way to Blue is the album. And it's a really good album. Really, yeah. Anybody doesn't want to give them a chance, is wrong. The song is "Check My Brain," which is obviously track 2. The riff on it is
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just
drone. It's a droney.
It's a drone. It sounds like it's either out of time or out of tune or something. It just doesn't sound right. Yeah. But the way it doesn't sound right now sounds so great. It's amazing. Yeah. It's one of my favourite Alice in Chains songs full time, not just from this period. I love the song. Check My Brain. You'd probably heard it. It was a single, but great riff. Great album, and I won't mention any more songs. I'm sure Lee will have something off it. So, but yes, definitely worth checking out. If you've never listened to anything post Lane, check it out. All the albums are good, all of them.
Yeah, I agree. And he's released more albums or been with the band longer than Lane was with the band.
Probably, yeah. Has he done 4 albums? I think it's 3 or 4, isn't it?
Yeah. So great shout, mate. Good one.
Cool.
Okay, for my track 2. Some collaborations work, don't they? Some don't. So I know there's too many these days where they get people from different bands and all that. But this is one of the ones that's worked from the beginning for me. This was the debut album from the band Wet, or W-E-T. And that the Wet stands for Work of Art, which is a Swedish AOR band. Eclipse, which is one of my favourite bands, and Talisman for Jeff Scott Soto's side in it. So yeah, man, this is a brilliant. They've gone a bit heavier now, I would say, on their later releases, but this is a brilliant album. They actually brought out an album last year, I think, that just tops this one, but this was an amazing album from Wet. The second song on it is called One Love. It's a sort of rocking AOR track with a bit of heavy guitar in it as well, but I just love the way Jeff Scott Soto works with. I've never been the biggest Jeff Scott Soto fan, but this is what turned me on to his voice more than anything. His Wet. I just think they're a brilliant melodic, I could say hard rock band now, but absolutely outstanding song on an outstanding album. There you go, Wet and One Love.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many sweet now? They have about 4 or 5 now.
4 now. 4.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's almost like Eclipse bring an album out, then it's a Wet album. You know, it's like almost take turns. You know?
I mean, they've all got fingers in other pies.
They have to, man.
That's the prog metal one, whatever that's called.
They have to. It's not. You don't earn easy money out of being a musician anymore, unless you're Iron Maiden or something, do you? It means. Right. Someone questioned Tim Ripper Owens the other day. I was seeing on his Facebook page. He was putting out a thing for, I can do like a message for you, or I can sing this for you, putting his voice out there for people. And someone put, you should just concentrate on your own band, KK's Priest sort of thing. I even put on there, you like living in a fucking dream world. It ain't 1980s anymore where MTV pay you and the fucking record company give you. But these people, including Tim Ripper Owens, have got to earn money. They can't just afford to be in KK's Priest, who probably might tour every 3 years.
Not in the same country.
Especially the last 2 years. I mean, with no touring and no, merchandise sales and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. It might affect their main band or the main one you want to hear. It might, but you can't blame them for appearing on other stuff. You really can't.
No. Unless you're one of the big boys, say Maiden or Metallica or something like that. Then.
Well, you don't need to worry about it.
No.
Okay. Anyway,
but he's always kind of bounced around Iced Earth, and then he did the 3 Tremors with the 3 metal vocal. He's always done a lot of different stuff. Anyway, okay. So my number 3 is Ace Fraley is back with his first solo album in 20 years, if you can believe it.
Wow.
Obviously, he was in the Kiss reunion for, about 10 of those years, just kind of out in the wilderness. But he got signed by a decent label, and there was a decent amount of money behind it. And this album turned out to be pretty good. It's called Anomaly, and the track I picked is called Pain in the Neck. And it's all very Ace Fraley. If you know him, he's not the best singer in the world, but he's got a bit of a certain something about his voice. And I mean, if you're a fan, this was kind of a return to form. It was a big surprise that it was, he'd been gone for so long, and he can still put together a pretty decent record. So there you go, Ace Fraley. Everybody knows him. Anomaly, and Pain in the Neck is called.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. What you got then, Jack?
Right. Well, I've got Black Sabbath, although I haven't. It's Heaven and Hell, which is it Mob Rules lineup? I don't know who's on drums. Is it Vinny Appice on drums?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is the Mob Rules lineup then, pretty much, of Black Sabbath, yeah. Anyway, obviously they weren't allowed to release anything under the Black Sabbath name because of Aussie back involvement at this period. So they came out, they could change the name. Heaven and Hell's what they did. They did quite a few shows before they did an album as well. The album they did fine in, the one and only album, apart from a live album, is called The Devil You Know, which is this one. And the song, I think we mentioned it before because I think we all love it, or certainly, yeah, I think we all do. It's called Bible Black. It's my favourite song on the album. Had to get it on there. It's an epic song. Never got to saw these live. I don't know why. I mean, they must have toured, and I'm always going to gigs, so I don't know why I didn't see them. They didn't play Download. I think they played Sonosphere at that point. That was going. But I don't know why I didn't see him in a stadium somewhere. So I'm a bit disappointed because I don't know if I've ever seen Ronnie now. I don't think I ever did.
No, so I did. I've seen the live. I've seen the live DVD of it, or I think it's on Amazon or something, and I watched that, and it was fucking superb.
Yeah, I don't know why I
saw them live. I saw them live.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah, Los Angeles Forum it was, and wow, it was pretty decent. I didn't get to see that lineup back in the early 80s. I was a bit too young, but yeah, so it was great to see them. I saw them before the record came out though, so it was the tour. It was just the initial reunion tour, so they weren't playing any new songs, but it was fantastic.
On that DVD I saw, because everyone was saying it was a bit of an unusual opener, and I think it's brilliant. After All, I mean, what a fucking brilliant song, man. Yeah. I know it's not a fast rocker.
I was not expecting them. I was not expecting them to open with that song at all.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant.
But yeah, talk about heavy, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is, I might tell bullshit, but I think a possibility. I went to the Dehumanizer tour at Hammersmith Odeon. I might have seen them in 1993 or 5 because I was going, or whenever it was, 93, I think. I was going to gig. Was it 91? Anyway, I was going to gigs around then, and I know I saw them on the TYR tour, for instance. So I could have seen them then, but otherwise, I don't think I ever saw Dio. So a bit gutted, really. But this song is really, really great. Bible Black. It's the best song on the album, I think, and it's got the typical epic Black Sabbath-y stroke Dio sound.
Excellent choice, mate, because it's mine as well. Bible Black from Heaven and Hell. I'll say, yeah, Heaven and Hell is Heaven and Hell, isn't it? Even I get fucking confused. Yeah. Brilliant track. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, some of it for me is a bit ploddy. Some of that album, it's a bit long as well, I think.
Yeah.
But there is some standout tracks, that Bible Black being one of them for sure. So yeah. Cool. Brilliant. It's my least favorite, if you want to call it a Sabbath album with Dio on it, which you might as well, just by naming it. It's not. It's probably my least favorite one out of the 4 for me.
Oh yeah.
But it's still good though.
Yeah,
it's still good. Anyway, that's my track 3. Moving on to track 4, guys.
Okay, that's me again already, huh?
Yes,
all right. What do I got? Okay, I got a band. I hadn't heard this until a couple years ago. There's a website that I use sometimes called Rate Your Music, which is all like readers' ratings and stuff. So it's not. It doesn't put in. It doesn't.
I go on that. I go on Rate Your Music. That's what I get. Yeah. That's what I get my fucking some of these lists from. That shows.
All right. Yeah. It's really great because you can just put in a year and then put in like hard rock or glam metal or whatever, and then it brings up 1 to whatever got the least amount of votes.
Yeah, and
you can really discover things that you might have missed, and this is definitely one of them. It's a Swedish band called Babylon Bombs. This is their 4th and last album, unfortunately. So I didn't hear this till about maybe 2 years ago, and man, it is fantastic. It's a shame they imploded or broke up right after this or whatever, because it is right up there with your Crazy Licks and your Crash Diets and all the bands that are really getting, known and have been around since the mid 2000s, like these guys. But for some reason or other, this just didn't they couldn't make it last. But man, I could have picked almost any song on this album. It's really that good. It's just the ultimate melodic sleaze, harking back to the great days of the late 80s. The song I picked is Nobody's Home, and the name of the album is Babylon's Burning. I couldn't recommend this enough. I think it's one of the lesser known of the Swedish melodic new breed, if you like, of classic glam metal, but it is fantastic. So yeah, Babylon Bombs. If you haven't heard them, check that album out.
Oh, man,
Cool.
How much music is there around that?
I know.
I mean, the suggestions that I do, the reactions and that, and nearly all of them are superb. That people write from the early 90s through to now. It's just mental. Absolutely too much music, man.
Too much.
Shouldn't complain.
There's too much TV. There's too much music. It's just too much.
Yeah, exactly. Good one, mate. Excellent. What you got then, Jan?
Okay, I've got Adam on my last list. This is their second album in 2 years. So obviously one last year, one this year, and that is a bit of pirate metal again, a bit of Hailstorm. And this is from their Black Sails at Midnight album, and it's a song Keelhauled, which is probably my favourite song they do.
What's that called?
Keelhauled. I'll explain what it is. It's apparently, I don't know how often it actually happened, is anyone pirate or sailor who got out of line, they tied a rope to him and they threw him overboard and dragged hhim underneath the keel of the boat as it was going along, where all the barnacles were and all that, and they more than likely die or they'll either drown or get ripped to shreds on the bottom of the boat. But it was a punishment called keel hauling. Yeah, lovely. But this is a crowd favourite, and they usually open the show with this. And it's
all right,
brilliant. Pirate metal, bit of fun. There you go. Hailstorm, Keelhauled from Black Sails at Midnight.
Very cool, mate. For my number 4, it's the album's been mentioned already, but it's not pirate metal, by the way. I didn't go for it. But it's Alice in Chains, and it's the song Your Decision.
Yeah.
So like this is more of a softer sort of acoustic-y type song, but very catchy indeed. I do love the album, but I actually think that Alice in Chains have got stronger with every album since William DeVal joined the band. I'm not saying stronger than Dirt, by the way. I'm not, you Alice in Chains.
The new version.
Yes, yeah, I think they've got better and better. I actually caught these when Jerry Cantrell solo album. I think it was just after the Degradation trip. I caught them at Canberra Sands.
Oh,
it was a Kerrang weekend at Canberra Sands. Yeah. Jerry Cantrell, like solo band, headlined like the Saturday night or something. And William DeVal was actually with him then.
Yeah, right, cool.
In the Jerry Cantrell band. And at the time, he was trying to sing. And his vocals have really improved, because when I saw him live, although I loved it because it was Jerry Cantrell and they was playing all the Alice in Chains songs, William DeVal's voice was like bad, like out of tune. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? I mean, he was good on stage. He played the bass, I think, at that time as well. I'm not sure, but it just didn't sound good live. And now I listen to him live, like on even live chips, like clips on YouTube that people film, and he can fucking belt them out. So he's obviously done a lot of work on his voice. But that was great to see, because I'd never seen Alice in Chains, so it was like closest I was going to get to Alice in Chains. But yeah, brilliant. That was excellent. Apart from the vocals, where he's trying to sing fucking, one of the best vocalists around as well, Lane Staley. You know what I mean? To try and emulate him was just impossible. But getting back to this track, more of a mellow track that Alice in Chains always sort of do on their albums, but very cool indeed. I think it was a single as well. I usually go for the heavier stuff of Alice in Chains, but I really like Your Decision. I think it's one of their better songs. That's my track 4. Moving on to track 5.
Okay, track 5. I've got Duff McKagan's Loaded.
Right, yeah.
Now, y'all know that I'm not the biggest Guns N' Roses fan in the world. I think Appetite was great when it came out, but we've mentioned before, the handful of songs, just you never ever want to hear those songs again.
Welcome to the jungle. Fucking never
and
that
just,
one.
Use Your Illusion just didn't do it for me. It was too anyway. So I'm not the biggest fan, but I have heard these Loaded albums, and this is the second one. It's called Sick, and it's actually 8 years between the first Loaded album and the second one, and that's because Duff was doing Velvet Revolver during this time. So once Scott Weiland had left Velvet Revolver, then he picked this up again. So it's their second album. The song I picked is called The Slide. It's got a real kind of, I've talked about before with Michael Monroe and things, that kind of like snotty punk and roll, really kind of just that kind of riffy stuff I love. So yeah, it's really good. I'm not a huge fan of his other bands or whatever, but solo, I think he's pretty great. So yeah, Duff McKagan's Loaded.
Yeah, I've got those albums, and I think I've seen him live as well in Loaded, and also he's got an album that was never released, which I managed to get a hold of as well.
Yeah, it's just one of his solo records. It's one of his Duff albums.
Yeah, it was never released officially, but yeah, I've got a copy of that as well. But cool. Good stuff.
Cheers. Well, that's the closest Dom will get to Guns N' Roses on here.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that too big for their britches.
yeah. Okay, Jam, what you got there, mate?
Okay. After Hailstorm, I've now got Hailstorm. With,
my God.
Their debut album, and we all love women singers, so it needs to change it up a bit. We're keeping it fair for both sexes. And this is their debut album.
No need to. I'll tell you what, how guilty you sound. You sound really, don't he, Dom? He sounds so guilty, doesn't he? It's like explaining himself. You don't have to explain yourself, mate.
No, just saying. I'm always picking female singers. Anyway, Hailstorm, debut album. I've said before on other things, I've seen him live so many times, and she is absolutely brilliant guitarist, vocalist. Her brother's in the band as well. And this is Familiar Taste of Poison, which is actually the ballady one on it. Actually, it's almost just her singing on her own with a bit of background sort of ambience for about 2.5 minutes of the 4-minute song, and then some instruments kicking in the end. But it's just a the softer side of Hailstorm, but they are pretty heavy actually. And I think in the next album they get even heavier. So they've done good songs, and brilliant live if you ever get the chance to see them. I
saw a live song. I can't remember what it was. I was watching some sort of highlights of a festival, and they were on there. And I don't know how she keeps her voice, because she she does heavier songs, she fucking screams. Not a bad scream. I'm not saying it's like, but she really puts everything into her vocals. And I'm just thinking, how the fuck can she sing like that? But just can, obviously.
She can. At the moment, I mean, she's not old, but she's getting on a bit now. She's 40 probably now.
I mean, in my list of my favourite female vocalists, she's probably the top, I reckon.
Is she? How long's the list, Lee?
1. 2 maybe.
Anyway, good one, Jam. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I'm going to, we've mentioned them a few times on here, one of the most underrated bands, slagged off bands. I'm sure Dom's going to have one of these on his list, but it's Winger. It's Winger, and off the album Karma, and it's the song Pull Me Under.
Oh, what a great song.
I'll tell you what, man, I've heard the album a few times, probably a long time ago, so I had to sort of refresh myself a little bit. This song, it is fucking brilliant. It's really heavy, metal riffing throughout the verses, a brilliant catchy chorus. I'd say in that chorus, it's got a slight modern feel to it, but not a lot, but a slight sort of modern tinge to it. What a fucking song. One of my favourite songs on this list, probably. Pull Me Under from Winger. Just amazing. Honestly, I know we promote Winger a lot, me and Dom do especially, but they fucking deserve it, man. I mean, it's fucking brilliant.
I have a confession. This was on my original list. Yeah, but every time either he has a solo record or the band has a record, I always put a song on there, and I just thought, man, I'll give something else. I'll probably never have Duff McKagan on the list again. So, I wanted to give another shout, but Pull Me Under was my original.
What a fucking song. What a
really
brilliant song. It's really heavy and all in places as well. Like really, such a brilliant metal riff.
And melodic.
Yeah, excellent. Anyway, I've bumped him up enough. I hope he watches this show.
He does.
Man. We love you, Kip. Okay.
And don't worry, Kip. Beavis and Butthead are coming back. I'm not going to watch it. All right.
Funny thing is I love Beavis and Butthead. I do. I love them. So.
Right. Okay.
Are they really coming back?
Yeah. They're old men apparently in some cartoon.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to watch it. It'll be funny, I think.
Oh, they're going to be old men. Oh, wow.
It might nearly be as funny as the Foo Fighters film that's coming out next month.
That's funny as well, I must admit. There's
a film.
Yeah, it's a horror comedy.
Yeah, horror comedy where they get like haunted. It looks like he gets possessed by the fucking recording studio or something. Starts killing the band by the looks of the trailer anyway.
Yeah.
Looks proper B-movie horror.
Oh,
80s horror.
Okay. I'll have to watch it.
Fucking ruined my night now. All right. Number 6 is my turn with Heaven and Hell. My track is The Turn of the Screw, which was one of my favorites on the album as well.
Cool.
You guys have pretty much said all you need to say. I don't think it's on par with obviously Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, or Dehumanizer, but it was great to see them live. And I'm glad that they mended bridges before he passed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they're on good terms again because, they had 2 not so great breakups. Not 1, but 2. And it seemed like they were really enjoying each other's company again and making music again. So I'm glad they got to do a couple tours and to make a new record together, even though it may not be as strong as the originals. I'm glad it's there, and I'm glad they, because no one knew he was going to die, So, I'm glad they built some bridges and made it happen.
Definitely.
So there you go.
I'll tell you what I do love about the sound of that album, though, is they really ramped the bass up like they did on, the first 2 albums, Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, especially Mob Rules. It sounded like they had a real Mob Rules sound to it. The bass was fucking so loud, but I loved it. I like it when Sabbath do that.
Yeah, I agree. Good production on it as well.
Right. Okay. Good one, mate. What you got then, Jam?
Okay, I'm going to an old favourite. I won't talk about it too long. My namesake, Pearl Jam, with the Backspacer album. I liked this album when it came out, actually. There's a couple of songs I liked. I know you weren't picking it, so I mentioned a song called Just Breathe and The Fixer. So if you asked me this a few months ago, I would have picked one of those 2 songs probably. But I've recently been playing a song called Amongst the Waves on Planet Rock. And I really like it. And that's on this album. So I've gone with that. Amongst the Waves, track 6. Modern Pearl Jam song. It's sort of mid-paced. It's not anything. Well, I like it. It's probably one you perhaps wouldn't pick out necessarily yourself from the album. Maybe not for outstanding for some people. But like I say, I've heard it on Planet Rock. And I knew it was Pearl Jam, of course. And I thought, I can't even remember what albums that on. Looked it up. It was on Backspacer. So one that I certainly heard quite a lot recently. So we'll go with that. Backspacer, Among the Waves, the song from the album Backspacer. There you go.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, my track 6, Striper, have returned. The title track from Murder by Pride. So they're sort of, at this stage, they were slowly edging their way back to, I think, the brilliant albums that they've made, probably the last 4 albums. But they're sort of really starting to introduce more guitar solos. They sort of went a bit on the last album, which was it Born Again? Something like that. I think it was Born Again. Might have been. On the first sort of one where they've been away for years and they came back, it was very sort of that like I said, I think before, it had a sort of post grunge sort of feel to it. Hardly any guitar solos, that sort of thing.
Reborn.
Thank you very much.
With
very
that
similar.
cover that shipped me up.
Yes, yeah, the green and yes. And I think they're starting to edge. It still had a sort of that sort of post grungy sort of sound a little bit, but the guitar solos were coming back, more screams and sort of getting back into that. The production wasn't the best. It was better than the album before, but it was sort of everything was sort of edging towards what they were gonna get back to. But this track itself is probably the standout track. There's a couple on there that are brilliant, but Murder by Pride is just a real brilliant track that would probably fit on those last couple of albums that I'm talking about. So, you know, trying to find their way back, which they definitely have now. But a superb track, Murder by Pride by Striper. There you go.
All right. The band that really made your channel, I would say.
I agree. Totally agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even now, if I put any Christian metal reaction track up, it usually gets more views than any other because of the Striper fans. So yeah, for sure.
What we need to do is rename this, don't we? Christian, all killer, no.
To get more people to watch it. Maybe.
Well, I'm about to blow that whole thing out of the water.
You're going to go Slayer.
Number 7 is Slayer.
Slayer,
yeah. Striper, Slayer. You know, that's the way that we do it. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. We cover everything here. We cover everything.
Totally agree.
This is from their 11th album, World Painted Blood, and the name of the song I picked is Human Strain. The Human Strain. It's always been one of my favorites off this record, and I do think, you know, people don't really talk about this record that much, but of the latter period, say Divine Intervention on to Repentless, this is my favorite record. Huh. A lot of people pick God Hates Us All, or I think this is the strongest one since the glory days. I really do. And I think it's time for a revisit from people. You know, I think that they're kind of guilty of that kind of AC/DC thing. It's like every album kind of sounds the same or whatever, you know. But if you love it, shit.
Totally agree.
It could be, yeah, when they make a great record sounding like Slayer, man, I'm all over it. So World Painted Blood, Human Strain from Slayer.
Okay, so get your Striper song out, then get your Slayer one out.
That's
sorted, right, mate. Sorted. He is a Christian, isn't he? Apparently, the singer.
Yeah. Tom Araya said he grew up Catholic or something. There you go.
Yeah, Catholic, I think. Yeah.
Just because your lyrics, I mean, they don't accuse John Carpenter of being a Satanist because he makes Halloween and all that kind of stuff. You know? No. Because your lyrics are all about, you know, bad things in the world doesn't make you a serial killer in real life. And some people think that music is different from a horror movie director. You know what I mean? It's not. It's not different.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Brilliant one, mate. What you got in, Jam?
7, right. I'm going to Australia for band's second album. Although I think a band at this point, maybe not. It's Wolf Mother, and I believe it. I think he was Andrew Stockdale singer was the only original member left on that by the time they got around to their second album. So might be wrong on that. I think it's pretty much. I think he's decided to take over the band at this point, but I might be wrong. Anyway, it's Cosmic Egg is the name of the album, and it's actually the title track I've picked, Cosmic Egg. I really like Wolf Mother. I know we talked about him last time, so we're obviously called Led Zeppelin. Yeah, ripping them off a bit. This sounds less like Led Zeppelin if the first one did, which I didn't think it did particularly. There's some good songs on this album, New Moon Rising, White Feather, and there's actually one of them albums where there was about 17 different versions of different countries with different deluxe versions and bonus tracks, and if you actually added them up, there was like 20 individual tracks. Well, if you want to put them on iTunes like I did, there's like 20 tracks almost of different tracks they recorded for it. So they obviously had a bit of a good session, or he did it on his own. Anyway, so Cosmic Egg, title track, just a standard Wolf Mother chugging riff, Led Zeppelin, the old school sounding 70s sounding rock, but with a modern twist. So there you go. Wolf Mother.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, for my number 7, I'm going to a very cool band that have sort of changed their sound over the years, definitely from the start, what they used to sound like. One of the new wave of British heavy metal bands, Praying Mantis. So they brought out the Sanctuary album this year on 2009, and I've chosen the song Threshold of a Dream, which is just a great rocking track. It just sums up how they are now. They're like a melodic hard rock band who sort of change things up on their albums as well. And they have on their new one, and all Catharsis, which is coming out very soon, where they sort of mix it up with some AOR stuff, and then they get a bit heavier. And this is just a great melodic hard rock song with some very cool guitar melodies. It's really catchy. I love them now. I never used to hardly listen to Praying Mantis when they were about in the early 80s, whether it was a money thing or not, I don't know, but it was just Maiden and Saxon probably for me back then out of that lot. But Praying Mantis were never there. They were sort of the second tier, if you like, weren't they? They weren't
they originally successful. Wasn't it originally Dennis Stratton who was in Maiden in the very early days?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah,
but they sound nothing like Maiden now.
No, they're a very.
Better for it, I'd say.
I agree. I think they're one of the best Frontier signings for sure, because they give you something different than anyone else. Absolutely fantastic band now. So Praying Mantis, Threshold of a Dream, excellent track. Track 8 then, guys. Track 8.
All right, track 8 for me. Well, another band that I mentioned quite a few times, but I really held off. But I couldn't this year because not only did they have a full length, but then they followed up with a mini LP as well. This is the Wild Hearts. The name of the album is Chutzpah, but I actually picked a track off of Chutzpah Junior, which was kind of the follow-up later on in the year. I think six or eight tracks. The song I picked is called Zen Requiem. I can't really say enough about the Wild Hearts. They're one of my favorite bands. A lot of people have only ever heard maybe the first couple records. But I tell you what, he is just such a great songwriter. Heavy, it can be super heavy at times, and then just come up with these choruses that are almost like Beach Boys, just beautiful, choruses. He's a one of a kind. So Ginger from the Wild Hearts. So from Chutzpah Junior, Zen Requiem from the Wild Hearts.
Very cool, mate. Wild Hearts make another appearance. Very cool indeed.
Yeah.
Very cool, mate. Right, what you got in, Jam? I'm kissing this cat. I don't know why I'm kissing the cat. It fucking pisses me off.
We love it. We love him.
Sorry, mate. Go on in, Jam.
I've picked Wild Hearts. I've gone from Chutzpah. I've gone with You Took the Sunshine from New York, which I love.
Out of New York, yeah.
Yeah, this is what you're saying. This is one of the melodic ones from them with a chorus that's brilliant and it's sort of catchy. I like the song. There's a couple of songs on there. One Jackson White's is on here, and Mazel Tov Cocktail, which is a really good song as well. This one's just upbeat, typical sing-along Wild Hearts. I say, I don't need to talk about them anymore. Just buy their albums, all of them, and pick out the songs you like. There you go.
Do you have this junior album I'm talking about, the Chutzpah Junior?
I do, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know there was that, from memory, I didn't know there was that many songs on it. I thought there was only 6 songs on it, but...
Yeah, because it was pretty hard to find for a while, but everything's online now, so it's much easier these days. But at the time, it wasn't exactly walk into your HMV and find it. But
yeah. I think I did get it actually. I think I was still buying CDs. I think I've got it on CD. I think they released it perhaps on a double now. Have they with a double CD?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think they did do that.
I think I've got it somewhere. I put all my CDs away now, or most of them. So
cool.
Yes, but good album. Excellent,
mate. Thank you very much. Going for some proper metal now. So we're going to Primal Fear. Primal
Fear, yes.
Now, when they do these sort of songs, I'd say like maybe one every 2 albums, where it just is so heavy, and they really get heavy when they slow it down a bit. And they're like do a slow to medium paced track. Called Killbound. This is proper headbanging shit. You two would You just wouldn't be able to stop. There's a video going around in there on Facebook at the moment where you can't stop headbanging. Have you seen
Yes,
this?
I've seen it. Yeah. They're going.
It's like with the fruit pastels when you had to chew.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? But, this song would just be perfect for that. You can't help it. This is so heavy. The riffs are fucking heavy. It's off the album. It's got a brilliant name, this album. 16:6 Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. So proper metal, this one. It's almost sort of return. I remember their last album, and I think I included a track off that on the last one. They sort of went back to basics a little bit and went really heavy again. It's fucking brilliant, this album. Maybe my favorite Primal Fear album. No. Ooh. No, hold on. No. There was one other there was one other
there, buddy.
Yeah, I did. There was one other that I do like better than this one, but this is probably my second best album. 16:6 Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Killbound is just fucking heavy. That's all I can say. And obviously my mate Ralph Sheepers, who who turned down Judas Priest, sings for these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't help yourself.
I can't. Right, track 9.
Okay, number 9. We've talked about the return of this band and how they are a much different animal. This is Europe from the Last Look of Eden album. It is their 8th album. The song I picked is Only Young Twice. If you happen to miss the show where we kind of delved deeper into it, wasn't a huge fan of Europe back in the day. Lots of pipey keyboards and just things that don't really hit me. But since their kind of reformation, they've gone back and they're a very much 70s influenced band now. They've replaced the perpy keyboards with the kind of Hammond organ, more Uriah Heep, Deep Purple kind of vibe. Tempest has got a bit of a gruffer voice. They really are just a completely different band, but they can still write a melodic, heavy song, and that's what they've been doing. I believe this is the second or third album since their reformation. But yeah, Europe, Last Look at Eden, great record.
Great underrated band. Again, we spoke about Winger. Europe was in that similar sort of catalogue, didn't they? Situation where people think of like one song maybe and think, we know what that song is, and we don't need to do it. We don't need to do that keyboard bit, do we?
Cherokee, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, it's Carrie.
I'm not superstitious. Yes.
Even we're taking the piss, and we like them. There you go. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. But I like it much more now than I did then.
Yeah. Good one, mate. What you got then, Jan?
Cool. It's probably the heaviest song on my list, although you could say Bible Black's heavy in a really slow, doomy way. This is a heavy in a fast way. This is Megadeth from Endgame, and it's a song Head Crusher. Absolutely brutal song.
Sounds like a ballad. Is that a ballad, Head Crusher?
Yeah, ballad. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. This is Megadeth, right? Return to form. I forget all the sort of what's out. Do. This is proper stuff. This could have come out after what's that? Rust in Peace. Literally, it's that. Yeah, it's definitely got that sound to it. Chris Broderick is in here still on bass before David Addison rejoined, and and it's also what I'd like to say that it's 34 years to the day of the release of So Far So Good So What. That's all I noticed earlier. So there you go, released on this day. But Endgame, Head Crusher, brilliant song, really fast. Andy Sleep produced this, so it's got good sound on it, and it's just a really fast song, great chorus, typical Dave Mustaine return to form. So this. Yeah, it's just classic Megadeth. And I think from this point onwards, they've released good albums, apart from, didn't Super Collider come out at some point after this? So maybe apart from that one, they've done some great albums since this point.
Looking forward to it this year, to see truth. I'm not the biggest Megadeth fan. I like some of their songs, but I heard that little snippet that Dave Mustaine played to a fan or something, and it sounded pretty fucking good, even though it was just a few seconds. But, yeah, he's definitely getting the fucking interest up, isn't he, with that new album for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good one, mate. Right, my track. We're on track 9, aren't we? We are on track 9. Yes.
You're not. You're 9. We've done it.
Yeah. Okay. So, how could I go without mentioning Yawny? Yawny Londe is back with my favourite album of Yawny, Spirit Black. It's fucking a banger of an album. I think this is the album I've most listened to of his as well. I really got hooked on this album. Yeah, this is an excellent album. I was a bit gutted. There was another song that I really wanted earlier on, and just the way it all worked out, I just couldn't choose it, so I had to get something else on there. But this is a brilliant song. It's the last song of the album, and there's only 9 tracks, obviously. It's called I Walk Alone, and it's just amazing. It's like a slower song. And this really reminds me, even though musically it's not, I don't think he was game for it, but it really reminds me of Sabbath's Lonely Is the Word. I think one thing, because it's like the last song, one, it's a slowish sort of song, one, it's heavy, one, it's Yawny singing and he's got that Dio sound. And obviously the title of the song, I Walk Alone, Lonely Is the Word. It's very, the feel of the song, it's just amazing. But what else can I say about Yawny? He's just fucking brilliant. And there's a new album come out this year. I believe they're working on a new album for this year. So come on. That's how he does in the video. It looks like he's on the bog, doesn't he? He fucking squeezing one out. He's fucking brilliant, man. Anyway, I Walk Alone by Yawny off Spirit Black. There you go. Yawn Londe, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. We do know his name.
Londe. We
just like to fuck around.
Yeah. Right. And some asshole once said, you should know how to pronounce his name, so we always mispronounce it just for that dick that left that comment. That
bit of comedy.
Yeah. But no, he's a great talent. I'll
tell you what, if you watch the rest of the shows, you'd know this, so you wouldn't need to explain it. Go back and watch them all.
Yes, I agree. Whoever the fuck you were.
Anyway,
number 10.
Another great new band that came out between Charm City Devils and this. And then remember last year I picked this band called Stone Rider. It was a really great time for American, like, mainstream rock. It was great. This band is called The Last Vegas. I discovered these guys because they supported, I think this was the year that Motley Crue Fest was on. And there was a label called 11-7, which I think Nikki Sixx had a hand in. And they were on that label. So I checked it out just on that basis. And fantastic, once again, kind of a Sunset Strip throwback. Fantastic album, though. It's called Whatever Gets You Off. Name of the song I picked is Love Me Bad. The Last Vegas, they're called. Got to see them once. They were quite good. They've had a few records out. I've got, I think, their second and third records as well. But this was really a call to arms. Just so great when these bands just appear out of nowhere, especially so many of your mainstream bands are still kind of hitting that kind of post-grunge feel and stuff. And this just comes screaming out like it was 1989, you know what I mean? Just fantastic. But with that fantastic, like, 2000s production stuff, So yeah, if you haven't heard The Last Vegas, they've got a couple of great records. But this was the first one, Whatever Gets You Off.
Cheers, mate. Excellent. Good name. I like the title of the song as well. Very cool indeed. Okay, Jam, what you got with, mate?
Okay, I've got some goth rock for you. A band I've mentioned before. I listened to quite a lot back in those days. I don't really listen to them much anymore. I don't know why. But you go through phases, don't you, listening to bands. This is the 69 Eyes from their Back in Blood album. I really liked this album when it came out at the time. It's all got vampire and blood theme on this one. But this is like not ever that heavy or fast, but this is quite a slowish song. It's called Hunger. Don't know if it's about just being the hunger of being a vampire, or if it's actually about the film of the same name, which was David Bowie, wasn't it? I think, wasn't it, with Susan Sarandon, I believe, the film Hunger.
Hunger, yeah, David Bowie,
yeah. Anyway, I don't know if it's about that, but this is like a piano-led, but still rocking song. It's mid-paced. It's just a nice little sort of gothic, because all gothic songs have the same feel to them, if you know what I mean. It's Sister's Mercy, not drum machine type vibe, but that sort of vocals and that whole thing. So yeah, good little album. This is Back in Blood. Quite. This, they probably peaked at this point, because you don't really hear about them much anymore. But at this point, they're actually quite big, perhaps 10, 12 years ago, whenever it was. So yeah, perhaps not so much around anymore. There you go.
Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. Well, my track 10, I've been waiting for this because I've mentioned this album a few times, I think, leading up to this year. And I thought I've got to choose the song as well. I've got to choose the title track, because I know he laughs every time he hears about this album. This is Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, yeah.
God and Guns.
God and Guns, and the title track. And I was just writing down there just the words to the chorus. Now listen to this.
Okay, good.
If this doesn't roll you up, I don't know what will. So ready? God and Guns keeps us strong. Mm-hmm. It's what this country's founded on. We might as well give up and run if you take away our God and Guns. There you go. That's fucking. It's like watching Independence Day, isn't it? The riling speech.
I feel like storming the White House or something like that, or just.
God damn it! Fucking go.
Might as well just give up and run.
Apart from that, you know, I love the song. I love the album. It's fucking brilliant. Look, I don't know. They calmed down a bit on that sort of stuff on their last album. This was the second to last album. I think they went a bit at it on this. You know, people would say they got a bit close to the mark, because I mean they got they got rid of their Confederate flag and all that years ago. I don't know if you remember when they were a 70s band, you know, with the original band, they used to have the fucking Confederate flag at the back and all that, and that they got rid of that years ago. But this, you know, lyrically across this album, it's very like, you know, I wish it was the way it was, and we need our guns and all that.
all that.
And all that. This is probably my favourite modern day Lynyrd Skynyrd album. It's a brilliant album. It's some real heavy parts to it as well. This is very cool. It's almost like a good 2/3 of it is almost like on the back step, fucking playing a little acoustic guitar with him singing until the band kick in, and it's a brilliant song, even if you don't like the lyrics. I would just
love to hear the band meeting when they're like, so I've got this song that I doing. It's called God and Guns. And they're God and Guns.
I'm in.
Yeah, let's just name the album that as well. All right, God and Guns. Yeah.
It's a brilliant album, by the way, guys. Even though we were taking the piss.
Hey, it's your favorite modern day Lynyrd Skynyrd album.
It is, and there've been a lot of them. There's been shitloads of fucking Lynyrd Skynyrd.
You've had quite a few on the list.
Anyway, God and Guns, the title track. I couldn't wait to talk about it. There you go.
So happy to put that on.
Yeah. Right, track 11, guys. What you got then, Dom?
Track 11, Hardcore Superstar are back. Swedish. New breed, of course. This is their 7th album, believe it or not, called Beg For It. And the song I picked is Take 'Em All Out. Another band that's just as good as some of your favorite.
Have you heard their last song?
No, not yet. I don't really listen to tracks. I wait for the albums.
Their song they just brought out, man, it's fucking brilliant. I know they've brought out about 5 now off of the new album, but that last song is just fucking amazing. Honestly,
fantastic.
The chorus is huge, and I'm talking about another song now, but it is fucking it's fucking excellent. Anyway, carry on with your 2009 one.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is 2009. It's the 7th album already, and they've had probably 4 or 5 since that. So they have quite a catalog now. I have seen them live, and they were very good. They supported Michael Monroe. That was a fantastic gig between the two of them. But yeah, so hardcore superstar, Swedish new breed at its finest from the album Beg For.
Can't wait for that album, that new one. Honestly, I haven't gone back to the catalogue because it's so big. It's like fucking trying to watch Game of Thrones or something. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, yeah. But there's such good stuff on there, man. I mean, if you were just to hear like one song off of some random, like this song, the track 11 off their 7th record, and you'd still be like, wow, that is really good.
They are a great band by the sounds of it. Anyway, good one, mate. What you got then, Jan?
Cool. Okay, I've got Rock Monster, and it's their penultimate album. Probably not going to do another one, and that is Kiss from the Sonic Boom album. And it's the second single, I think, off that. Track 11, Say Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song. It's some good songs on this album, actually. It was trying to get back to basics. They're trying to get this, capture some of the 70s sound with a modern twist. Monday Delilah is a great song. You know, probably one of my favorite newer Kiss songs. Lightning Strikes, track 10. I nearly put that on with Tommy Mathias singing. That's quite a good song as well. But this one's Paul singing. It doesn't sound too bad considering how old he is. He sounds pretty good on this song. It's quite a good album. I think I've definitely preferred this to the last album they did, which we will probably come on to. I might pick something off it, so I won't say anything. But no, pretty good album, Sonic Boom. I think I saw him on this tour. Certainly, maybe in an arena, I think so. I've definitely seen him quite a few times fairly recently in the last 10 years. So, and they've obviously got all the makeup on at the moment, and they're be retiring this year. I don't know when their last gig actually. It might be next year now, but 2023.
Are they not playing Download, or is I imagining that?
Yes, they are. They're playing. Yeah, that'll be the last time I ever see them, but I think they're stopping in 2023, I believe, their last ever gig. But yeah. Okay. Hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed. They're out there playing, so as long as they come over here, I will get to see them at some point, hopefully. So, should be good.
Very cool. If not, you can catch up on Paul Stanley's solo soul project, can't you, instead?
Not really for me, no.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks for that, mate. My track 11 is another bit of Southern rock. It's a bit weird how they came together, these two, but almost the new Skynyrd, I would say, and that's Blackberry Smoke. Oh yeah. This is off their album Little Piece of Dixie, which is their second album.
A little piece of what?
Not Dixie. Not Dick. Dixie.
The Dick.
This is called I mean, some of their lyrics are about the simple life, if you like, and you know, I mean, even though I
remember not having to lock our doors and
exactly. This song's called Freedom Song. It's basically though about. It's not about like wanting to overthrow the government or anything. It's about just getting in your fucking truck that's got wheels about the size of your house, going along like the road or the highway and blasting out some music. Basically, that's what it's.
All right.
Yeah, but it's a brilliant song. I love Blackberry Smoke. It's weird. Their sort of releases at the moment were sort of coinciding with Skynyrd's. Don't know if that's. I mean, but they've toured with them a lot. So whether they was doing that,
yeah, maybe they were doing that so they would always get the support slot on the Skynyrd tours.
Quite intelligent and all. Then, so yeah, brilliant song, Blackberry Smoke, Freedom Song. But they've got a lot better to come. This was their second album where they're sort of coming into their own a bit, but some of their albums after that are just fantastic. But anyway, Blackberry Smoke, Freedom Song off Little Piece of Dixie.
Dixie. So I think you like Blackberry Smoke more than Blackstone Cherry.
Yes, I'll tell you what, it's a bit weird with Southern music for me. I don't like it when they go a bit too heavy. It's like I want it to be more authentic, like as in Skynyrd, that sort of stuff. I like the more when they start adding the guitars. I think Blackstone Cherry sound a little bit too modern for me. I don't know, and it's a bit heavy. They've got heavier as well, and it's too bluesy sometimes. And I did like them. I thought they were really good on their first couple of albums,
but they've kind of
they've sort of gone a bit, I don't know. It's more veering
modern
towards heavy rock now, I think, rather than the southern stuff. I think they're starting to veer off the southern stuff. I wish they'd go back to it a little bit more, but I don't think they will. Right.
Maybe they will. Who knows?
Who knows?
What are we on? Are we on the last track here?
We're on the last track.
Yep.
Okay. Track 12. I'm a name we haven't heard for a while. Lillian Axe.
Oh, blimey.
Now, they've never broken up, I don't think. It seems that they'll take 8 years and then they'll release a couple albums within a year or two of each other and then take another break and whatever. This album's called Bad Day on Planet Earth. Track I picked is Nocturnal Symphony. This is their 7th album overall. Some of the modern Lillian Axe can get a bit too modern, post-grunge, whatever you want to say. But they do have tracks on each album that are still quite melodic. This one is this is kind of a Lee song. This is kind of a slower, epic ballady kind of thing. It's definitely got a Zeppelin feel to it. The riffs are pretty dark, and maybe you can even say a little down-tuned, I'm not sure, but they always manage to find a way to, it's almost like light out of the darkness, Lillian Axe do that. So they still have their songwriting chops. I can't say I love everything that they do these days, including this album. Yeah, I mean, these days, in the last 20 years. But they still have bright spots. It's a great song, Nocturnal Symphony. So there you go, Lillian Axe.
Very cool. Thanks, mate. And a brilliant list, by the way. Some excellent ones on there.
Thank you.
Okay, Jam, what you got then, mate?
Okay. I've got a band who gets a lot of stick, not from anyone here, not from us, because you guys don't like them, but you don't give them stick either. But they get one of them bands. One of them bands everybody loves to talk about, said they're rubbish. Obviously, Five Finger Death Punch. I've already said that I like them. I certainly liked them probably in the earlier days. This is from War Is the Answer, their second album, and they're still pretty heavy. Not quite metalcore, but they've got some really heavy, fast stuff. They are a bit more commercial in the latter day albums, but this album was really good. It's got songs like Hard to See, No One Gets Left Behind, and stuff like that on it. But now I'm going to embarrass myself because the track I've picked is a cover version, but I didn't know it was. It's called Bad Company. And I didn't realise it was a company. It's Bad Company did Bad Company. I didn't realise they actually did a song about their name. Yeah. So there you go. So I liked the song, and then I found out it was actually a cover version by Bad Company, obviously. So I have heard it since, but I thought it was their original song. So, but then again, I was never into Free or Bad Company, so I didn't know that. But anyway, it's a great song. It's a good version as well. I have.
When did you find out as a cover when you're just doing your list for this?
Oh no, sorry, a while ago. But I thought I'd put it on anyway because I do like.
I've done that loads of times, by the way. I've done album reviews and said, "Oh, I like that song," and then someone's pointed out that it's actually a cover. We can't.
I could have guessed it was a cover, but being the cover of the name of the band. But
I might have looked into it if it was called Bad Company. I might have done, but I don't know. But we can't know every song.
But then again, a lot of bands don't have songs called their name, so
true, yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, I did find out a long time ago, but I put it on anyway because I really like songs. So there we go.
Very cool, mate. Great list as well, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Right, okay. Well, my number 12, I was finding this a bit hard. So I basically had a handful of albums that I'd heard a few times, and I had to find a track 12, and this was the best one by far, actually. A lot of the albums didn't have a track 12, so you know what I mean. I was like, what the fuck? But there was about 4 or 5 that did, and the one I ended up with was the mighty Saxon.
Fantastic. Into the Labyrinth,
yeah. So without a doubt, this was the best number 12 track for my last choice. So Come Rock of Ages from Into the Labyrinth. Just a medium paced, obviously, metal track. Some really cool guitar work on here, some pinch harmonics, sort of classic pinch harmonics as well, Zakk Wylde-esque. Just a brilliant song. It's fun. I think maybe because Saxon are just about to bring a new album out, it got me a bit excited about it as well, and it made me choose it. So I don't know, but it's what they've been doing, isn't it, for years and years and years. This actually sounded more, because of what I remembered from this stage of Saxon, I think spoke about, they got a bit heavier at this stage and then maybe a little bit more modern-ish, ish,
but not the whole records. Only bits and pieces. Yeah,
agreed. And this one definitely falls for me into the older style, Power and the Glory, maybe sort of Saxon. I used to remember. So yeah, Come Rock of Ages from the Mighty Saxon from Into the Labyrinth. There you go.
Awesome. I'm glad somebody else has Saxon on their list besides me.
Yeah, fucking right.
So here's their 25th album, and
definitely.
Right on.
Okay, so
excellent list, Lee.
Yes, excellent list.
Thank you very much. I only say it to receive that comment. I don't really mean it when I talked about your lists. I just
still
to
never going to listen to anything on it, is he?
Maybe if we sent him something for a reaction video. I've never really done that.
I've tried that.
I've done a few jams. Yeah. Wait, stop it. He's trying to get something. I don't know what he's fucking trying to do. Little shit. Right. Any honorable mentions, guys? Dom?
No, I'll pass. Quite happy with my 12.
Right. Okay. Well, you got, Jam? Anything?
I want to mention that that's Still Unbroken, the first track on Gun and Guns. Absolutely brilliant.
Love it.
I heard it. It's Another Planet, Rockman. I heard it on the radio. I thought it was Blackstone Cherry because I couldn't believe that Lynyrd Skynyrd was that heavy. I mean, it's not that heavy as in heavy. It's not fucking death metal or anything, but it's heavy, so heavy. I didn't realise they actually went that.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised, and I had to download it just to check.
That's definitely one of their heaviest songs. For sure. That's a brilliant song. Yeah.
I did like that.
Very good. I don't think you'll like a lot more of the album. But,
no, probably not.
But there is a few songs like that. But that's probably they're more. You're totally right about. Sounds a bit like Blackstone Cherry for sure.
Yeah. No, it's good. I nearly put that on my list actually. If I hadn't had Wasp or something, I might have gone with that. But cool. Just a couple of quick ones. Band called Avatar that I was supposed to be going to see the other week. Really like. Obviously got put back a year, the tour, but their debut album, but I didn't get anything off it. It's self-titled. Band called Baroness, they'll probably feature on my list in the future. Don't know what I describe them as, but their first album, I think it is Blue Record, come out. Killswitch Engage had an album, but Killswitch Engage 2, but didn't get anything off that. Mastodon, Crack the Sky. I've said before, I want to get into Mastodon. It's supposed to be probably their best album, a lot of people say. And I have heard bits of it, but I haven't listened to it. Sense have got a good album out called How to Do Battle, but I couldn't get anything off that. And then finally, I want to mention them Crook Vultures. They should be really good. I mean, I know you don't like Foo Fighters, but Dave Grohl, is it, what's his name from Queens of Stone Age? Yeah, John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. I thought that sounded like it should make a good album, but I thought it was awful. I thought it sounded awful. I didn't like any of the songs. So, it should have worked, but didn't. And they've never done anything since. It's a
dishonourable mention there, then.
Dishonourable mention, yeah. Should have done better with them musicians. Is it Josh Homme, was it? I think was the other one. Yeah.
But you don't like Queens of Stone Age either, do you?
No, I don't like them, but I thought with John Paul Jones, it might sound a bit... I thought it'd just be like a rock record, but no, I didn't like it at all. I don't think it got good reviews either.
Good to have a bit of a dig at someone, isn't it? Especially Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
I probably support that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's sort of a bit weird. It's just some bands I want to mention that albums. I'm like, I don't usually go into songs, but Hammerfall had an album out. No Sacrifice, No Victory.
Yeah, No Sacrifice, No Victory.
Candlemass had Death Magic Doom. That's quite a cool album actually, but I didn't get anything off of that. They've got a new album coming out apparently this year as well, Candlemass. UDO. Dominator,
yeah.
Lynch Mob.
I can't have them on every list.
Lynch Mob had Smoke and Mirrors, which was at the time I quite liked it. I don't know, but with the first couple of albums, I thought they were fucking brilliant. Like in the Wicked Sensation and the self-titled. But way back then, this one sort of wore off quite quickly. Even though I was blown away at the beginning, it does sound very similar to their older stuff, but. It just must come down to songwriting, mustn't it? It might have the certain sound of them, but the songs just weren't there. And also, Sunstorm had their second album out, House of Dreams, obviously with Jolene Turner. Not quite as good as the first album, but still very good indeed. That's about it. Yeah, that's it. That's all my sort of honourable mentions. So Great list.
2009.
2009 done.
Fucking
wrapped
new decade.
up.
New decade.
Yes, we're getting there. We are getting there. So thanks for the list, guys. Thanks for the laughs as usual. It's been absolutely fucking fantastic. Anything from you guys before we go?
Yeah, tell your mates to start watching me. You got 79 views in the last one, you bastards.
Yeah, fair enough. So if you're going to watch this one, you haven't seen 2008, make sure you go and fucking watch that. So Jam said.
Yeah.
Because you can always check out my fucking annoying twat of a cat that's just about to knock over my record. Can't you? Look. It's just thinking, what can I do next?
1,000 views if you knock shit down.
What can I do next? Look, what can I do next? What I'm going to... Oh, yeah, look. There's something...
I'm going to jump on. Yeah.
Oh. What's the fucking point of that?
I thought it was going to be a bit more extravagant than that.
Oh, he ain't finished yet, but there you go.
Good.
Anyway, thanks guys for joining in.
All right.
As usual.
Yes.
See you next week for 2010.
See ya.
Right, list below, guys. List below. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, please. Love them. Join in.
See you later, mate.
Cheers.